So Lima is famous for its restaurants, and Peru is famous for its food. Its gastronomy has become world famous and it's world class, mainly thanks to Gaston Ocurio, the famous chef. But there is no way I could possibly teach you everything to know about Peruvian restaurants in 7 minutes, or even in an hour. So I can only say that you should probably go to my blog to read about it, where I have listed my favorite restaurants, and I have listed 100 restaurants to try while you're in Lima. There are new restaurants cropping up all the time. I would recommend, if you are in Lima and you actually just want to do the food tour, you of course can sign up for a food tour, but you can kind of make your own. And I'll be covering Peruvian foods in a different segment of this movie. But in terms of restaurants, there are so many restaurants, from the super high-end like Central, which is very, very famous, and where a set menu, I think, costs, including the drinks menu, the courses, that are 17 courses on the set menu, costs somewhere around $225 per person, which is probably the most expensive meal in Peru, but it's certainly not the most expensive for a world-class restaurant. And Central would be a Michelin star restaurant if Michelin had reached Peru yet. But Michelin was started in France to get people to wear out Michelin tires, and Michelin has not reached South America yet. But I'm sure that when they do, Central, Maido, Kyoye, those restaurants will probably receive stars. As I said, there are many different kinds. Little hole-in-the-wall restaurants are called huariques, but Peru's restaurants there are many, many chifas, first of all, which is, of course, a rice house or a Chinese restaurant, a Chinese-American restaurant. They are all over the city, and they're a favorite place for people to eat. Limeños, or people from Lima, love their ceviche, but they also love their pizzas, they love their Italian food, they love their criolla food, which is native food. They love their Japanese food, Japanese Peruvian, which is Nikkei food. They love their cafes, their cafeterias. They love food. And the menus go out to eat a lot, even if it's just for a little set lunch or for a little coffee or tea in the afternoon, because they do actually have tea, which is they call lonche, which is funny. And they also will, of course, go out for ice cream. They love ice cream. It is a normal thing for them to have ice cream all year round. But of course, there is a season in the summer when it will be much, much more popular. Dundo is a collaboration restaurant between the owner of Osaka and the owner of Osso, which is, I would say, the premier steakhouse in Peru. The owner of Osso and the owner of Maido, who was a world-class chef as well, those are the only two chefs in Peru who have trained in a special Italian butchering style. Maido has been in the top 5, but is the #1 restaurant in Peru according to 50 Best Restaurants, which of course is a marketing gimmick. There are a lot of what would be called international restaurants in Peru. Everything from Vietnamese to Korean to Hawaiian-style poke. There are some Middle Eastern restaurants, not as many yet. There's Mexican. It's a new thing, Mexican restaurants. And the area out on Aviacion is one of my favorite areas because it's basically the new Chinatown. And of course, with almost 1 million Venezuelans in the country, there's the rise of Venezuelan food as well. Another thing that I pay attention to anyway is, of course, the rise of new types of restaurants and restaurants owned by women. Kilo is one of them. In terms of people asking me what's my favorite restaurant, you can look at the whole list on my blog, but I would definitely say that Jeronimo, Lamar, and, of course, my favorite is still El Pan de la Chola. I hope you eat something delicious when you're there.